What is media training? By the way, how many people in here have ever heard of media training? Okay, so not very many, a couple of you. Few? Okay. Media training is the fastest growing political consultancy in the world. Media training is very candidate-centric. We spent earlier today talking about the campaign-centric. How do you build an organization? How do you build a campaign plan that's very methodical, that's accountable? Every area is taken care of in a campaign. How do you do that? How do you create the vehicle, the campaign entity, the organizational entity that gets you elected? This now is how do you create the perfect candidate, the perfect communicator? And let me let you in on a little secret. It has very little to do with the words, all right? I can't tell you how many politicians have come up to me and said, Steve, look at this speech I wrote. Look at it. Tell me if it's good. And invariably I'll say, I can't tell you if it's good. Deliver the speech and I'll tell you if it's good. Those are just words. If all you do is read the words, if you have no passion in your voice, if you don't tie your body gestures to the voice, to the words, I don't care what the words are, they're going to fall flat. Very normally, the first thing you do to connect when you walk into the room is you make eye contact. And I'm going to get into it in a second. I shake hands with my eyes. I look at you. I show you mean something to me, right? I don't look through you, don't look above you. I'm not better than you. I look at you. I make that connection. There's a great story. I love this story. Jesse Jackson is an African-American religious leader in the United States. Rosa Parks was an African-American woman who in 1955 took a seat on a bus at a time in America where African-Americans were not allowed to take seats on buses if white people were standing. They had to give their seat up to the white person. Rosa Parks said no. She refused to do it. Many credit her with the beginning of the civil rights movement in the United States. She refused. The African-American community, a lot of the white community rallied and said, this is unconscionable. In America in 1955, we should not have black Americans having to give up a seat to a white American. That is unacceptable. So years later, it was probably 2000 or something. Anyway, it was like the 45th anniversary of Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat. And we were down in Montgomery, Alabama, where this took place, and I was with a politician, with a senator. And there were dozens of senators who came down to honor Rosa Parks on this anniversary. And all of them went through what we call a cattle call. Rosa Parks was sitting, and they all went and shook the hand, nodded, thank you, and they walked away. And I was standing next to the senator, and Jesse Jackson, a very charismatic African-American religious leader, came up and he stood beside me and the senator, and he said, you guys are doing it all wrong. You don't get it. And my senator that I was working for said to him, what do you mean? And he said, I'll show you. Jesse Jackson gets into the rope line, comes to Rosa Parks, kisses her on the forehead, kneels, takes her hands, bows his head, and prays with her. Every camera, literally, and there were hundreds that came for this historic moment, pulled in on Jesse Jackson praying with Rosa Parks. Jesse Jackson got up after about 30 seconds, came back, turned to my senator and said, that's how you do it. Cynically, he was saying, you guys were walking through nodding. Communication isn't, I didn't say a word. I bowed my head, I kissed her forehead, I took her hand, and we bowed and prayed together. That was more communication than he could have given had he said 1,000 words. Most communication, indeed, deals not just with verbal, but voice. Voice, what does voice matter? When you speak, do you change your voice? Do you bring your voice down? Or do you bring your voice up? Do you pause? Do you iterate words? Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Punctuate words. It's voice. The words may be wonderful, but what's grabbing your attention is how I move my voice. how I use gestures while I'm moving my voice. You can't stress that enough. Learning how to communicate. When people see a good speaker speak, using their voice, using their body language, they remember it and they're convinced that the person is real and genuine. Because it's hard to fake passion. All right, media training betters a speaker's presence and presentation by combining the best language with voice. Vary the tones. Use voice tricks to become a better speaker. It makes you more valid, more believable, and more credible. And use gestures. Think of it when you have conversations with your friends in your living room. If I'm sitting there and Ricardo and I are friends, and Ricardo's talking to me, do I say, how you doing, Ricardo? Good, yeah, that's good, yeah. Yeah, did you see the football game? Yeah, that's good, yeah. Hey, yeah, that was a good speech. No, we don't talk like that. I say, hey, Ricardo, how you doing? Oh, God, you gave that speech. It was wonderful. I'm animated. That's how we talk one-on-one. Why don't we do it in speech? Why don't we do it when we deliver a speech? You know why? Because when Ricardo and I are talking, it's a two-way communication. I'm talking to him, he's talking to me. What we fail to remember in speech delivery, speech making is a one-way communication. You're not talking to me, I'm talking to you. I got to make you think you're talking to me. So I need some tricks. I need to look you in the eye. I need to find the passion. I need to grab you. I need to bring my voice up and down. Oh, I'm losing some of you. Well, let me tell you this. And I bring it down. Oh, maybe I sucked you back in. Oh, what's he going to say? This is important. Or I can boom it up. Or I can accentuate words. This is the most important issue in Spain today. This is the most important issue in Brazil today. I've got you. You're sitting there going, what is it? Change my tone. It sounds, and what was surprising, at the beginning of when I do media training, we film everybody. So at Harvard, I'll film all 150 students individually. Say, write a 3-minute speech, and you should do this. Write a speech and deliver it into camera. And I'll say, and they're all nervous. And I won't tell them, but they're all worried about the words. Oh, I got to say the right words. I'm not looking at the words. They don't know that. So they'll deliver the speech, and they're nervous. And they'll be, I'm running for president of Brazil today because, and they think, say, oh, I've got a good line here. Long live Brazil. That'll get Jarding. And when I critique it, and I critique it for every student, they'll say, well, what do you think? And I'll say, well, why were you reading this? What was this? Right? You lost me. Don't hold your speech. I want your hands. I want to see gestures. You were reading it. Oh, what happens when we read? Same monotone. Because when we read a book, we don't go, and little Jack Horner said, I'm going to sit in a corner. We say, little Jack Horner said, I'll sit in the corner. When we give a speech, that's how we deliver the speech. I'm not getting anybody when I say that. I need to bring the words to life. The trick is, every line of a speech that you deliver should be different from the one before it. If I went up in this line, I come down in the next one. Right? If I said, poverty is not a family value, the next time I might in the next sentence say, and let me say, education is the most important thing we can do. I'm just changing it up. But every time I do it, because studies show the ear only hears a few words at a time. And if those words are monotone and they're being read, you won't hear them. You lose it. 55% of messages, 55% of messages in their survey, and what they did is they looked at speeches all over the world and then polled audiences. 55% of all the speeches that were delivered, 55% of the message was conveyed and interpreted through body language. Does the speaker look comfortable? Is the speaker in control? Are they forceful? Are they credible? Are they believable? When I tell you I will fight for the poor people in this country, if you don't believe it, if you don't see it in my eyes, you don't see it with my body, feel it in the tone of my voice, you're going to lose me. Or I'm going to lose you. You're going to tune out. So make it believable. Look at 55% body language. 38% of the message is conveyed and interpreted through the voice. How they sound. Are they credible? Are they comfortable? Are they in control? When I talk to you about my passion for building wealth in people, I believe in the power of the human mind and the human spirit. I believe in the goodness of government. I believe in the goodness of the people of Brazil to create an entity that will be a model for the world for how government should operate. When I say it that way, do you believe it? I guarantee you believe it a lot more than if I just stood here and said, I think it's really good you're here today, and I think you're a model for the world. It doesn't connect. You have to find that. Okay, 55 and 38 is 93%, 7%. Only 7% of the people remembered the words and said, oh, of all these speakers, the words is what mattered. The words are what I remembered. That's an amazing study. It was one of the most in-depth studies on communication that had ever been conducted. 93% has very little to do with the words you are saying. When you walk into a room, the first thing I want you to do is come in and look at, hi, how are you? Make eye contact. Let them know I care. I don't want to come in and say, hi, how are you? And I'm looking over your head. That's insulting. I got you. If I look at, hi, how you doing? Maybe I shake your hand, I smile, you smile. I got you. You like me already. I haven't said a word. You don't know why you like me. I like you too, by the way. Okay? Right? And you come up and you pause and you take that second. How are you? It's a good looking group. It's great to be here. I'm stalling for time. I want you to see I'm a nice guy. I'm smiling. I do care about you. I'm looking you in the eye. How you doing? You look great. Saw you in the hall. Hey, I recognize somebody. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. All they're doing is trying to make a connection. They're trained to do that. Okay? So that first impression, when you walk into the room, very normally we walk in. Well, good evening. It's good to be here. What's that? Right? If I did that in Ricardo's living room, he'd kick me out. Open and closed body language. Closed body language. It's always bad, okay? And you'll catch yourself doing it. These are some of the traits. Sometimes it's aggressive and threatening. There's different types of closed body language. Okay, it could be staring at a person, speaking over them. You could have an elevated voice, overly aggressive, too firm a handshake we just talked about, gesturing very aggressively, pointing fingers. That's bad body language, okay? Closed or defensive body language. Okay, thank you. It says, I don't want to be in the conversation. I don't trust the person I'm talking to. We've all seen it. We've all known, we've been in conversations, maybe you were in some today, where somebody, and this is a bad one. I do it all the time. I cross my arms. I don't mean to. It's just kind of natural. But studies show people look and say, oh, he's closed. He doesn't want to be aggressive. So a lot of times when we train people that are giving speeches outside of a podium, keep your hands down here. Don't put them in your pocket. Don't put them behind you. Keep them right here. Don't fold them. Like I say, I just have a tendency to do it. Maybe I'm insecure. I don't know. But it's not a good gesture. Okay? Studies show, and they actually study all this stuff where they'll show different pictures of different people and different gestures, and people say, oh, that guy's, he didn't want to be, oh, he's mean. Oh, he was being rude, he crossed his arms. Okay. So there's different ones. Poor eye contact, you're inattentive. No expression on your face. I'm talking to you, and you're saying, Chief Steve, I want to change Brazil. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that's a good goal. Good luck. Right? No, I want to change Brazil. Good for you. I want to change Brazil too. We need that. I want to change America. The face. Make that connection. See the simple things, but it makes all the difference in the world. You got them. You got them when you do it. Some of the best communicators, I used to go to weekly leadership meetings at the White House when Clinton was president as a staffer. And Clinton, who I mentioned, he got extensive media training. I mean, Bill needed it. Bill was not a great speaker. But now, he's one of these guys where he looks at you and it's like his eyes are laser. I mean, you know, it's like, okay, Mr. President, you know, it's like, leave me alone. You know, I know you mean it. I know you love me, right? but he has that skill. And he'll do another thing, which is not bad. He'll touch you. Yeah, okay. I mean, you don't want to, you got to be a little careful maybe, right? But don't be afraid. I told the story when I started about the Brazilian consulate in Houston, and when the gentleman said, "I'm giving you the visa," he grabbed my arm. He said, "You need to be in Brazil." It was like, wow, that's a good body language, buddy. That's sincerity. You need to be there. Go to Brazil. Okay. These are simple. Here's the beauty of the training when you get it. You'll never watch TV the same again. You'll watch the news and you'll go, oh, look at that guy. He crossed his arms. Oh, look at that guy. He put his hands in his pocket. Oh, he was looking right over. You'll start to naturally get better at it. It's an easy form of communication. Okay, other ones, closed and aloof. A forced smile, no eye contact, shifting or rocking your feet. That makes sense. Oh, he doesn't want to be here. Oh, yeah. As opposed to, you have my attention. I'm here. Okay, and I'm going to again keep, there was a classic example. George H.W. Bush, President Bush, was in a debate with Bill Clinton. It was a debate on poor people, essentially. It was on the economy and how America could do better for the poor people. And the president was asked a question about a poor woman who said she couldn't pay her bills. And he did this, looked at his watch. What was that body language? I don't want to be here. Are we done? I need to get out in the boat, right? I don't care about this poor lady who says I can't pay my bills, right? He should have, and in that same debate, Bill Clinton, in that debate, George Bush looked at his watch and he stayed on his stool and he said, what? You're saying I don't understand poor people? Bill Clinton, the great communicator, the president's done asking President Bush, okay, Governor Clinton, your turn. Clinton walks up to the woman. He says, your question's about, do I understand your pain? Do I understand what it's like when you say you can't pay your bills? I'll tell you, I understand completely. As governor of Arkansas, I know people who can't pay their bills. I've sat with them. I've prayed with them. I've held their hand. I've talked to them about things we can do. I've fought for them. And it blew people away. He seized the moment. He saw it. How do I connect to that person? George W. Bush looked at his watch. I don't want to be here. What was the question? Oh, you don't think I can relate to poor people? Yeah, whatever. Bill Clinton, I feel your pain. I'm right there. It was a classic moment. Some people think it was the moment that Clinton sealed his victory. That America looked and said, that guy's real. Bush looked aloof. Okay, yawning. Yawning is and by the way, we all do it, right? You're in a conversation, and you're tired, and somebody's real serious, and they're making a point, and you want to yawn. Yawning is, in studies, it's one of the most rude forms of body language. But the problem with a yawn is, how do you control a yawn? Can you control a yawn? It's contagious too, isn't it? If I yawn, you'll start yawning, right? Can you control a yawn? I'll give you a wonderful little secret in body training. Yes, when you're in a conversation with your mother-in-law, and she's making a very strong point, and you're bored with her, and instead of going, yeah, that's really important to me too. When you start to yawn, excuse me, yes, Mom, that's a great point. You can cover up a yawn with a cough. It's the same intake of air into the lungs. So as you catch yourself yawning, cap it off with a cough. Excuse me, that is a wonderful point. A little tickle in the throat, I don't know. Right? So never yawn again. Never be embarrassed because you yawned in somebody's face. Shaking hands with your eyes, okay? Again, wide open, looking at people, make that connection. That is a powerful gesture. The eyes are really powerful to people. You can't fake genuine, it's almost like you can't try to fake genuine eye contact. What are you going to do, close your eyes? If I care to look you in the eye, you see that it matters. I've made a connection. That's a powerful one. Firm but not overly aggressive handshake. Smiling. Again, smiling, this universal gesture. Don't be dominating, be inviting. Be confident, have open gestures and stance, right? Don't do this, don't cross your legs. Don't do this, don't get weird on people, but look natural, look comfortable, okay? Open body language. A lot of times they'll say lean slightly forward, but don't get in somebody's personal space. We all have a personal space. It's a couple feet. So, and we've seen it. Politician, somebody gets too close to your face, you back off, okay? It's kind of human nature. It's, as I was saying earlier, it's when Ricardo and I are in his living room. Act that way, right? That's very natural, and people will respect it. But remember, open body language is a two-way conversation. It is a living exercise. You will pick up cues from the person you're talking to. Are they bored with it? Am I too aggressive? Am I too... And you'll pick up cues, and you have to adjust. It sounds a little weird if you haven't done it, but start practicing these things, and you'll see that you become better communicators, okay? Okay, go into the conversation intending to convey interest, warmth, confidence, but constantly read the signals the person is giving back to you, because you can adjust it. Whoops. Okay, the best communicators, and I'll close here, and you're going to get this entire thing. There's a whole bunch of little tips in here on how we can use words and repetition and how you can iterate words. So just read through it, and that's all you'll need. I mean, for my students, I talk about it, but they take this back and they study it and they film themselves, and then they practice some of these and they say, oh, I was reading it, I was too fast, I had no body language, I had my hands stuck to the podium because I was nervous. Okay, so and then they'll work on those, and then they'll film themselves again, and guess what? They got a lot better. And then they'll do it again, they'll film themselves a third time, and they get better. It's not difficult. What I like to do with candidates or with corporate heads is you sit down, you do that initial filming, you have them write a speech, and then you look at it together. And it's amazing. They'll normally go, oh my God, I do that, you know? Oh, I didn't know I did that. Okay, now you do. Don't do that, right? If you shift a lot when you speak, there's another little secret. How do you keep from shifting? And some of us do. It's a nervous habit. We shift because we're nervous. We've all seen speakers do it. The little trick in media training, put one foot ahead of the other. Right? I can't shift now. If I do, I'll fall over. If I keep my feet spread here, I can shift naturally. I'm nervous, I'll do it. Put one foot ahead of the other, I won't shift anymore. Little tricks, okay? But people pick up on your body language, and I'll leave it at this, and they reflect it back. Think of that. If I'm in a conversation, hey, how are you? And I've got good eye contact, and we're making a connection, you'll actually pick up on that and reflect it back. So now, I not only got you, you bought into it, and you're reinforcing my own language. As opposed to if I'm cold, you're going to look right past me and say the guy was kind of aloof, he was kind of a jerk, right? So think of that. If your body language is good, you're going to actually start doing the same kind of body language. You've made that connection complete. Let me take 1 minute to, I started this morning by saying I believed that one of the next great world leaders could come out of this room. I didn't say that because I didn't believe it. You wouldn't be here. You're predisposed to change. You're predisposed to a sustainable government. You're predisposed to a new model. You're predisposed to saying, I want a better Brazil. Or you would not be here. You didn't have to be here. You chose to be here. I started this morning by saying, legitimately, the reporter said, Steve, these folks, government's too corrupt. These folks won't be able to change it. You can't turn these folks into leaders. And remember, my response was, I don't need to turn all the folks into leaders. We need one leader. I'm telling you today, there are more than one leader in this room. Leadership is a state of mind. Leadership is a desire to leave more to the earth than you took away. It's to look for the next generation. No nation, no people, no nationality has a lock, has a corner on that market. I genuinely believe, and I mean this, that the world can look here. The world can look to Brazil and say they figured it out. In a time of unheard of turmoil throughout the world, they figured out that they could rise above corruption. They could rise above secrecy. They could rise above money corrupting politics. And they could give a model to the world for how, in a representative society, we have a responsibility to give back. We have a responsibility to understand that public service is indeed about the people I am trying to serve. It is not about me. If you do that, and you take my mother's advice and say on that last day, I'm going to look back. And as I breathe my last breath on this earth, not knowing what lies on the other side, or even if there is another side, that I can look back and say, the world is a better place. Thank you for letting me serve in this world. Thank you for letting me be in this world. Thank you for letting me share in this world. But I can now die. I can go on to whatever is beyond this life with a clean heart, with an honest heart, with a clean soul. Let me say the same to you. Somebody in this room is going to be the next great leader of the world. I believe that. I believe in you. You believe in yourselves, and you can do that. Thank you for letting me be here. Thank you for letting me share with you some tips, hopefully, on how to not only build a better organization to help you win, to help you rise above some of the obstacles in politics, but also hopefully for helping build a better communicator, somebody that understands you can do this. It is not that difficult. Believe it or not, I was a very shy person not too long ago. I had a speech problem. I had to take speech classes most of my life. Not classes to learn how to be a good speaker. I couldn't articulate words. It was a physical ailment. I had to overcome that. Still had to overcome, I didn't like public speaking. But when I found in my heart that what things like you're doing here today, that you're trying to create a better Brazil and a better world, when that passion was found in my soul, I said, I can do this, because it's not about me. If I can help light a spark in one person in this room to go leave a better Brazil and a better world, then maybe I can, on that last day, look back and say, I left the world a better place. Thank you. Go out and change the world. Go out and leave the world a better place than you found it. Thank you for coming to this. It's a wonderful workshop. I have faith in you. I have faith in the leaders. It's a terrific group. And I indeed want the world to look back and say, we're going to take our cues on a better society, a better world from the people of Brazil. Thank you very much.